Good morning, everybody. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm now calling this Housing and Community Development Committee voting meeting to order. This meeting is being streamed online. Dina, can you please take attendance?
Chair Markosik,
Here.
Rep. Abney,
Designation.
Rep. Boyd,
Designation.
Rep. Brown,
Designation.
Rep. Cephas,
Designation.
Rep. Green,
Designation.
Rep. Krajewski, Rep. Madsen,
Here.
Rep. Mays,
Designation.
Rep. Powell, Rep. Probst,
Designation.
Rep. Siegel, Rep. Smith Waddell,
Designation.
Rep. Waxman, Chair Irvin,
Here.
Rep. Bashline, Rep. Jones, Rep. Kephart, Rep. McKenzie, Rep. Major, Rep. Rosel, Rep. Rossi, Rep. Schaefer, Rep. Tomlinson,
Designation.
Rep. Walsh,
Designation.
Rep. Weekneck. You have a quorum.
Okay. Thank you, Dina. Our first bill.
I'm sorry. Casey's. Rep. Tomlinson's online. So.
Thank you, Chair Irvin. Before we start, Chair Irvin, any opening comments?
None at this time. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our first bill today is House Bill 273. I recognize the prime sponsor who is here today, Representative Bob Mursky, for brief comments on his bill.
Thank you, Chair Markosik, Chair Irvin, and members of the committee. Thank you for your consideration of House Bill 273 and providing me with an opportunity to give some remarks on the bill. House Bill 273 is the same legislation that was reported out of the Housing and Community Development Committee last session in a unanimous vote. The bill would provide counties with the option of adopting code enforcement ordinances and would establish a new grant program administered by the Department of Community and Economic Development that would help our municipalities pay for the hiring of new code enforcement officers and to strengthen existing code enforcement programs. A municipality obtaining a grant must provide equal matching funds, and to make sure these dollars are fairly spread around the entire Commonwealth, a municipality can only receive this grant for 3 consecutive years. Better code enforcement is considered a best practice in the fight against blight. When I served on this committee in previous years, we took tours of urban, rural, and suburban areas that all experienced blight, and this was a direct result of those tours. The statewide Blight Task Force additionally has regularly talked about the importance of property maintenance code enforcement as a tool in mitigating and preventing blight. And we all know that property values decline in neighborhoods and where vacancy and blight exist, and that local governments spend taxpayer dollars securing these vacant and blighted properties. House Bill 273 is designed to help our municipalities upgrade or remove blighted, abandoned, and structurally unsafe structures and dwellings. Removing or upgrading these blighted properties potentially transform them into new housing developments. With this bill, we can deliver real dollars to struggling communities as well as help our constituents who get stuck dealing with the problems associated with abandoned and blighted properties that are left behind by irresponsible property owners. I respectfully ask for your support for this legislation, and I ask for an affirmative vote from the committee. Thank you.
Thank you. I now offer Amendment 00029. I need a motion to adopt. Motion by Representative Siegel, seconded by Representative Powell. Jim, can you please describe the amendment?
This technical amendment removes the serious violation definition and appropriations section.
Are there any questions on the amendment? Chair Irvin.
All the Republicans will be support the amendment. Technical amendment will be a yes.
Seeing none, the amendment 00029 is adopted 26-0. I now need a motion to report House Bill 273 as amended. I see a motion by Representative Siegel and Representative Krajewski. Dina, can you please take the vote?
Chair
Could I make a,
Marco-
could I make a few comments on that before we take the vote?
Yes, I'm sorry, I apologize.
Okay.
Rep. Irvin.
Yeah, I appreciate Rep. Mirsky for being here. I think last session, we did support this bill out of committee unanimously. We do have some issues that arose within our caucus, especially concerning the county takeover of some of your municipal codes, and I think that's one of the reasons why we are not supporting this bill this session. And I wanted to, see if we may be able to reach out and work a little bit that. I do know there's a lot of municipalities out there that do not have code enforcement, and I do understand the idea of allowing the counties come in and take that over. But at this point in time, we're not going to be in favor of that, and I'm pretty sure we can do a unanimous no vote from the Republican side on that if we want to, on this bill.
Thank you, Chair Irvin. So with that, House Bill 273 will be a 14-12 vote as amended, with all Democrats 14 and all Republicans 12. So the bill will pass 14-12 as amended out of committee.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Our next item on the agenda, I now need a motion to report House Bill 643 as committed. Motion by Representative Krajewski, seconded by Representative Powell. Mr. Chairman?
Thank you. And I don't know, we're going to, just to tell you, I think right now, we just raised the fair funding from 80 million to 100 million last budget cycle. And I actually, with it going from 100 million to 110, and I support these programs 100%, but I'm not sure if we're at this point in time ready, or I'm ready to go ahead and move that up to 110 until I see the full effects of the additional 20 million that we put into that. But I think if you want to go ahead and speak on that, we'll go from
Yeah.
there. If you want to address any of those
Apologize for
concerns.
that.
Thank you.
Yeah, Rep. Khan.
Thanks. Thanks, Chair Marcosic and Chair Irvin. Appreciate you both. Here to talk about House Bill 643, prime sponsor Representative Doherty. This is a bipartisan bill. I believe when we did the initial fair bill last time, it passed that committee unanimously. And as you mentioned, it's a great program, right? It addresses housing instability for older adults, veterans, people with disabilities. It also addresses blight, which I know is important to this committee. And historically, this has been a bipartisan effort on this bill. In addition to Representative Doherty, we have Representative Major, we have Representative Twardzik. I think why it's important that we increase the cap on fair. The cap currently it's going up by 10 million each year, and in 2027 it will stop at 100 million. This will allow it to go up by 10 million in 27-28, and it'll stay at 10 million according to our bill. And I think why it's important is because when housing projects are built, they're not built sort of year by year. They're sort of built in several years in advance. The increase that this bill will allow, which is aligned with the governor's priorities, helps us to plan our housing future in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I think having developers know that this money is going to be available will help them plan their projects moving forward. This is a bill that doesn't affect just rural areas, but suburban or rural. It's the whole Commonwealth. In fact, when it was implemented in 2012, I think there's been over 1,000 projects in all 67 counties. So this is something I think we can feel good about. And it's very deliberate. It doesn't increase the current cap for this year or the following year. It's just when the bill that we passed last year out of this committee unanimously stops. So thank you so much, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Rep. Khan. Any other questions or comments?
We'll need a roll call vote on that.
Dina, can you please take the vote?
Chair Markosik,
Yes.
Rep. Abney,
Designation, yes.
Rep. Boyd,
Designation, yes.
Rep. Brown,
Designation, yes.
Rep. Cephas,
Designation, yes.
Rep. Green,
Designation, yes.
Rep. Krajewski, Rep. Mattson,
Yes.
Rep. Mays,
Designation, yes.
Rep. Powell, Rep. Probst,
Designation, yes.
Rep. Siegel, Rep. Smith Waddell,
Designation, yes.
Rep. Waxman, Chair Irvin,
No.
Rep. Bashline, Rep. Jones, Rep. Kephart, Rep. McKenzie, Rep. Major, Rep. Rossel, Rep. Rossi, Rep. Schaefer, Rep. Tomlinson,
Designation, yes.
Rep. Walsh, Rep. Weekneck.
The bill is reported as committed, 17-9. Thank you, Rep. Khan. Our next bill is House Bill 734. Recognize Representative Madsen for comments on the bill.
Thank you, Chairman. I know we have a pretty busy agenda, so I will be brief on my comments, but we passed this bill unanimously out of committee and with bipartisan support on the floor last session. So not much has changed. I know we do have a technical amendment and concerns expressed by the other side. Happy to work on a floor amendment if needed. But I just want to, on St. Patrick's Day, just want to lift up that one of the groups that has joined us just recently is the Catholic Conference in support of the legislation. And I can't think of a better way to honor this saintly day, outside of it being my birthday, than lifting up and fighting for the most disadvantaged amongst us. So the bill largely just focuses, if you're a responsible landlord, you will not be affected, but this does give justice for tenants that are unfairly impacted by absentee landlords that have properties that should be condemned. So I'll leave it brief, and thank you so much, and hope for your support.
Thank you. I now offer Amendment 00091. Need a motion to adopt. Motion by Rep. Powell, seconded by Representative Siegel. Jim, can you please describe the amendment?
This technical amendment adds references to two sections in the Landlord-Tenant Act to correct a statutory conflict.
Thank you, Jim. Are there any comments on Amendment 00091? Chairman.
We'll be supporting this technical amendment as a caucus.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So seeing no negative votes, amendment is adopted 26-0. I now need a motion to report House Bill 734 as amended. I see Representative Krajewski and Representative and seconded by Representative Powell. Or any comments on the bill as amended? Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate this bill coming forward today. We will not be supporting this wholly as a caucus, and I hate to do this. I think today is Rep. Madsen's birthday. Is that right? I'm sorry to do that on your birthday, but
You owe me a beer.
but I think there's some agencies that are out there that can help this, and I do have some concern putting this back onto landlords, and I'm not by any means supporting bad landlords that are out there at this point in time, and I think they have responsibility, and I think there's a legal system and justice system that we need to go through. I think the low-income housing through your local housing authorities do take the responsibility to making sure there's a lot, but I know in the more of the urban areas where they don't fall under those privies, I think that this is a problem, and I hope we can work forward, maybe going forward and get something hashed out on this. But right now, we're not going to be totally supporting this as a caucus, and thank you very much. So we'll a roll call vote on that.
Roll call vote. Okay, Dina, can you please take the vote?
Chair Markosik,
Yes.
Rep. Abney,
Designation, yes.
Rep. Boyd,
Designation, yes.
Rep. Brown,
Designation, yes.
Rep. Cephas,
Designation, yes.
Rep. Green,
Designation, yes.
Rep. Krajewski, Rep. Madsen,
Yes.
Rep. Mays,
Designation, yes.
Rep. Powell, Rep. Probst,
Designation, yes.
Rep. Siegel, Rep. Smith Waddell,
Designation, yes.
Rep. Waxman, Chair Irvin,
No.
Rep. Bashline, Rep. Jones, Rep. Kephart, Rep. McKenzie, Rep. Major, Rep. Rossel, Rep. Rossi, Rep. Schaefer, Rep. Tomlinson,
Designation, yes.
Rep. Walsh, Rep. Weakneck.
The bill is reported as amended 15 to 11. Thank you, Rep. Mattson. I now need a motion to report House Bill 743 as committed. I see Representative Siegel, seconded by Representative Madsen. I now recognize the prime sponsor of the bill, Representative Salisbury, for comments on her bill.
Thank you, Chairman Markosik. This bill was put together last session, and I would like to thank Chairman Irwin. I would like to thank your caucus for having some input on the just compensation aspect of the bill. I think that that really improved things. So essentially, this is to address an issue that arose very frequently when I was on borough council prior to becoming a state representative, and also one that I've seen as a small business owner. So in a lot of communities which have central business districts and also housing stock that has been allowed to deteriorate, there's an issue where people would love to start a business and move into a storefront. I know I have a lot of storefronts in my district back in Allegheny County that people would love to open a bricks and mortar business in. Unfortunately, there's someone who refuses to allow anyone to use that property. You'll have a property owner, I can think of one off the top of my head as an example, who's owned a property for over 20 years, pays taxes on it every year, but also allows it to fall into severe, severe blight to the point that the back of it is falling off and collapsing. She has been offered money to purchase the property. People have asked to move in and put a business in the property in the central business district, and still no. So when people would come to me as a council member, I had nothing to give them. They would come and beg, please, can you let somebody move in? Can you, I want to put my business in there. It has a loading dock. It has this, that, and the other that would be perfect for me. I was powerless to help them to put their small business in there. I was powerless to try to redevelop our central business district because we really didn't have any tools. So for a small community that can't post a large bond for an eminent domain or take something over by conservatorship because they just don't have the ability to do redevelopment like that. I know my municipality did not. Our borough building collapsed in 2020, so we did not really have the ability to take on additional redevelopment projects. This provides another tool in the toolbox wherein a severely blighted property that in many cases often looks abandoned, that people refuse to use, people refuse to rent, people refuse to sell, can be brought back into productive use. And by doing so, we can allow a municipality to refer that, not mandate it, but refer it for acquisition by a land bank. The land bank would then be able to either redevelop it, either tear the structure down, or convey it good title to a purchaser, but that person is not, the person who's the original owner is not deprived of their property unjustly in an unconstitutional fashion. They would be provided with a just compensation after any expenses are taken out by the land bank. So really, from my perspective, it's a win-win by a municipality, by the owner who really still gets compensated, and by the new owner who can return it to productive use, as well as the community as a whole.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman?
Thank you. Rep. Salisbury, I really do have some hard feelings on this bill both ways. I mean, I understand exactly what direction you're trying to get it. In fact, myself, as a previous tax claim director, county treasurer in a small county, I had a borough where we had, for instance, it was a storefront. It was condemned. You had bricks falling off of it. They had to put the sidewalk out, tape the sidewalk off because we were worried about pedestrians actually getting hit with it. And, you know, the borough's hands were tied. They came to me as a tax claim bureau director and asking me, why can't you sell this property at tax sale? But no one wanted it at that point in time. And it was a real hassle for the municipality to actually get through that. My concerns, on the other hand, are, you know, say if I was the owner of the property and I had a 10-year investment, you know, plan where I'm going to be getting to this property eventually, not right now, maybe not within that 5-year time frame, but I'm going to fix that up and I want to rent that out as a storefront, and I've already put, you know, 10 to 50,000 into it, but it's still not coming up to code. But I have maybe 5 other storefronts or other properties that I am putting my money into. I'm not sure if the municipality should be able to designate me to go into that land bank because I own that because that property is in disarray, which I do have full intent on actually to make it a rentable dwelling or business space. I feel that it could be somewhat of an overreach of government to come in with that. But you know, where do you set that time frame at? 5 years, is that too short? 10 years, is that too long? And that may be a wiggle room that we can actually look at maybe in an amendment process to take that from 5 years to 10 years, and we would have we might be able to go a little bit, get a few more votes on our side of the aisle on that bill. But right now, I don't think we're ready to move forward on that 5-year plan. So we do need a roll call vote on that. Then.
Before we take the vote, is there any more discussion or comments on the bill? Seeing none, Dina, Dina, can you please take the vote?
Chair Markosik.
Yes.
Rep. Abney. Rep. Boyd.
Designation, yes.
Rep. Brown.
Designation, yes.
Rep. Cephas.
Designation, yes.
Rep. Green.
Designation, yes.
Rep. Krajewski. Rep. Mattson.
Yes.
Rep. Mays.
Designation, yes.
Rep. Powell. Rep. Probst.
Designation, yes.
Rep. Siegel. Rep. Smith Waddell.
Designation, yes.
Rep. Waxman.
Yes.
Chair Irvin.
No.
Rep. Bashline. Rep. Jones. Rep. Kephart. Rep. McKenzie. Rep. Major. Rep. Rosel. Rep. Rossi. Rep. Schaefer. Rep. Tomlinson.
Designation, yes.
Rep. Walsh. Rep. Weekneck.
The bill is reported as committed, 15 to 11. Thank you, Rep. Salisbury. Our final bill today is House Bill 316. I recognize the chairman for comments on his bill.
So Chairman Markosik and members of the committee, thank you for considering House Bill 316. Every struggling community in Pennsylvania wants blight to fight blight, wants to see their neighborhoods revitalized. And sometimes that revitalization includes securing what ultimately becomes safe, quality buildings owned by a reliable tax base. While the municipality has the authority to deny permits to individuals who are delinquent on their taxes, bad actors have found a loophole in the form of limited liability corporations. An LLC can apply for permits, and the municipality may be forced to issue the permits even if one of the principal owners of the LLC is delinquent in their taxes. And so I think with House Bill 316, we can end what is a disingenuous practice, and we can help our municipalities. That's why I'm introducing legislation giving local governments the power to deny a permit to an LLC or corporation not only when the LLC or the corporation has delinquencies, but also if one of the principals of the LLC has delinquencies in the municipality. And so thank you for your consideration of House Bill 316.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I now offer Amendment 00089 and need a motion to adopt. Motion by Rep. Abney, seconded by Rep. Siegel. Jim, can you please describe the amendment?
This technical amendment replaces corporation with company in references to LLCs.
Are there any comments or discussions on the amendment? Chair Irvin.
No, just to let you know that we will be supporting the amendment. No, we won't need a roll call. Unanimous, yes.
So seeing no votes against the amendment, it is passed, it is adopted 26-0. I now need a motion to report House Bill 316 as amended. Motion by Rep. Powell, seconded by Rep. Krajewski. Any comments on the bill as amended? Chair Irvin.
Thank you, Chairman. I appreciate this bill, maker of the bill, and I don't speak for my entire Republican committee whenever I say this, but I will be supporting this bill today. And myself, as I mentioned in the last bill, that I previously was a tax claim director, and I do understand the idea that we were trying to prevent blighted slumlord properties at tax sales from, if they had delinquent taxes, from buying another property and letting it in disarray rather than fixing it up. And it was actually a good tool. I know I wasn't happy with it whenever the legislature first passed it, but it actually did help in preventing a lot of your slumlords from buying additional properties and deciding, well, I don't like this property isn't what a sight unseen, they bought it. Next thing you know, they just left it go right back into tax sale again. So this, I think, could be a good tool for your municipalities to try to push your municipalities or your landowners into fixing up their property. I don't know how effective it will be and how much traction we'll get on it, but if they need a permit, I don't want to see an individual hiding behind an LLC or a different corporation. So that's one of the reasons why I'm supporting this bill and moving forward. But like I said, I'm not going to speak for all of my committee members, and I think that we definitely will need a roll call vote on that after when we take that. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Irvin. Are there any more comments on House Bill 316? With that, Dina, can you please take the vote?
Chair Markosik?
Yes.
Rep. Abney? Rep. Boyd?
Designation, yes.
Rep. Brown?
Designation, yes.
Rep. Cephas?
Designation, yes.
Rep. Green?
Designation, yes.
Rep. Krajewski? Rep. Mattson?
Yes.
Rep. Mays?
Designation, yes.
Rep. Powell? Rep. Proth?
Designation, yes.
Rep. Siegel? Rep. Smith-Waddell?
Designation, yes.
Rep. Waxman?
Yes.
Chair Irvin?
Yes.
Rep. Bashline? Rep. Jones? Rep. Kephart? Rep. McKenzie? Rep. Major? Rep. Rosel? Rep. Rossi? Rep. Schaefer? Rep. Tomlinson?
Designation, yes.
Rep. Walsh? Rep. Weeknecht?
The bill is reported as amended, 19-7. Thank you all for joining us here today, and I would also like to thank Chairman for his bill today. And this is adjourned. Our meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Chairman, members of the committee, thank you so much.